We're talking Blue Raider football. Live from the Boulevard Bar and Grill, it's Rick Stockstill Live. 1 hour of football conversation with the head coach of the Blue Raiders. Be a part of the show on Twitter using the hashtag AskStock. Tonight's show is presented by Ascend Federal Credit Union, the exclusive credit union of Blue Raider Athletics. Bud Light, it's for the fans. And Ascension St. Thomas, official hospital partner of MTSU.
Check.
Now with head coach Rick Stockstill, here's the voice of the Blue Raiders, Chip Walters.
All right, folks, glad to have you in with us tonight on this opening week of the college football season. And Coach Rick Stockstill is here. We're coming to you live from the Boulevard Bar and Grill, just across from campus. Our favorite sports bar and grill in Murfreesboro. So stop by today, and a nice crowd here on this opening weekend of college football. Coach Rick Stockstill joins us. And Coach, how are you doing today? Well, it would help if I got you unmuted. Try that.
I'm great, Chip.
Yep.
Hope you're doing good, and I appreciate everybody being here tonight. It's going to be a great night, great start to the year.
Yep. And obviously week 0 had some games last week. We'll talk a little bit about that because the Conference USA schedule was underway. But this week, everybody in the league starts playing. But the highlight and the spotlight here will be on Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where Middle Tennessee will take on the 4th-ranked or 3rd-ranked, whichever poll you want to take a look at. Bottom line is they're good, the Alabama Crimson Tide. And, Coach, you have been extremely excited about this football team, and you talked about the vibe that they've had in fall camp. Kind of give us your thoughts of where we are less than a week away from kickoff.
Yeah, Chip, I'm excited about this team. We've had you go back to when we started in January after the Hawaii Bowl. They've worked extremely hard in every facet, from the winter program to spring practice to the summer, and then through camp. And I think we've gotten better, than what we started spring practice. We've added, a handful of new guys that were not here during the spring, and they fit in really well. And I just like our team right now. We're not. We still have some question marks. We still have some holes, but, there's only a handful of teams out there that don't have question marks or holes right now anyway. So, but I like where we're at. The guys they got a wonderful attitude. They come to work every day, and, we were fortunate that August wasn't extremely hot. It really wasn't hot till last week. And so it never really felt like the drudgery of camp. And camp this year was a week longer than normal because school started a week later, started today. So they were in camp a week longer than normal. So just proud of how they handled everything, how they worked, how they competed.
When you go through fall camp, and how much difference does an extra week of that make where it's basically football only as opposed to, okay, here we are on this Monday of game week, and they're having to figure out some of your new guys. Okay, where's my classes today? That kind of thing, and you're kind of getting into that game week routine.
Yeah, I mean it's there's pluses and minuses to both. Obviously, prior to school, you're not restricted to the 20-hour rule a week, which we are now this week and the rest of the year. So you got more time with them, which is beneficial. But you also have to be cognizant that you don't overdo it, because especially this year, with who we open up with the first 2 weeks of the season, and then the October games, midweek games, where we're playing so many, right after another, that we've got to be, I was very diligent, in planning, August and then here these next 8 weeks, to make sure that we're fresh mentally as well as physically to get through this stretch, because this is going to be a grind, playing 2 SEC teams to open up the season, and then, the short turnaround once you get into the October games.
You're a baseball guy, and the way baseball lineups are made now, you have a leadoff guy, and then the guy who hits ninth is also kind of a leadoff guy. Last year, you got off with the start that you had, but you finished strong, and that guy who was at the bottom of the order was the San Diego State game in the Hawaii Bowl. How much did success in that game catapult you guys into winter workouts, mat drills, Blue Dawn, and then into spring practice with a very good taste in your mouth?
I wouldn't say it was just that game in particular. I think it was just the confidence that they had that was a result of the entire work of the year. You know, you never say, okay, we won the last one, everything's rosy. You know, you lost the last one, everything's, you know, Mr. Gloom. You know, so, but I just, you know, how the teams that they beat, how they won, the adversity that they overcame to finish the way we finished, not just the bowl game, but the last 5 games of the season. You know, how we responded after the opening week loss, how we responded after that. I just think that, you know, we continue to grow and develop as a football team throughout the course of the year. And then to answer your question, Chip, it did, you know, they're a confident bunch. You know, we got a lot of guys that played snaps last year. We got a lot of guys that didn't play that were, you know, part of the last year's team, the year before team. And we got some new guys that have come in that have really fit in well also.
Yep, officially it's listed as 13 starters returning, but there's so many guys on both sides of the ball that while they may not have started, they played starter-type snaps, especially all the guys that Coach Schaefer rolls on that defensive line and the offensive line as well, and the number of receivers and backs that played. It's a team that does have experience coming back.
Yeah, you know, knock on wood, we got out of camp semi-healthy. We've lost probably 3 guys for the year that were going to be, you know, major contributors. So that was disappointing. But, you know, for the most part, we got out of it pretty clean. And, you know, we've got some deficiencies now created because of those injuries from a depth standpoint. And, again, it goes back to we just got to be very, very smart, you know, as we navigate the first, you know, 8 weeks of the season with the, you know, the first 4 and then the middle 4 of those October games that, you know, we've got some good experience, you know, and we've got good leadership on this team that I feel confident, you know, going in that the guys are going to, you know, respond the right way. And when adversity hits, that they'll be able to, you know, to look at it in the eye and respond to it in a professional way.
You know, not only in the off season are you looking at roster changes, guys who have graduated, may have left, those that have come in, whether it's freshmen, transfer guys, junior college guys, whatever it might be, but also your coaching staff, and you're fortunate you have 2 outstanding coordinators, and the core of your staff has remained the same for a good bit of time. This year, you have been able to add some guys as there was some movement, and in particular, coaches on the staff who have played at middle. I can't remember having more homegrown guys on the staff here than what you have this season.
Yeah, you know, we're very fortunate, and I've said this a couple times, Chip. You know, I feel like this is, you know, the best staff that we've had, and guys that they all get along. They're very knowledgeable. They work extremely hard. There's a camaraderie to them, and you know, I'm proud of our staff. And you know, we've got, you know, we lost Kenneth Gilstrap, who was a former player. You know, he went to UAB, and replaced him with Alex Suber, who's a former player. You know, who joins, you know, Shane Tucker and Brent, who were former players, obviously, also. You know, with those guys, and then, you know, Octavius Mathers and Marquise Shakur and Blake Catlett, J.K. Wyatt, you know, those guys. You know, Ferg was on the staff there, and he got cut, and he just got recently cut again, so he may be back. But I'm a loyal person. I believe in loyalty. And those guys have earned and deserve, but more importantly, they've earned the opportunity, to coach here. And they all want to coach here, and it's important to them. And they've embraced it. Those GAs, those guys are young guys that are going to be excellent coaches and representatives of Middle Tennessee as they start their career. And then with Brent and Shane and Alex, I can't speak enough about them. And they're really, really special coaches.
Yep, it is a special group, and they all take the field on Saturday down in Tuscaloosa. We'll talk about the makeup of the roster and how the two deep looks going into the opening game at Alabama. First, I want to remind you, tonight's show is brought to you in part by the Lee Company. Blue Raider fans, get ahead of the game with the best home services team in town. For your heating, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, and home improvement needs, Lee Company is the team to call. 615-867-1000 or online at leecompany.com. More with the head coach of the Blue Raiders after this on the Blue Raider Network, powered by Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Blue Raider fans, this is Coach Rick Stockstill. Have you heard about the MTSU debit card from Ascend Federal Credit Union? This is exactly what you need for your busy lifestyle. Need some cash? Use this card fee-free at Ascend's 2 on-campus ATMs and at thousands of ATMs worldwide. Bank where the Blue Raiders belong. Ascend Federal Credit Union, exclusive credit union of Blue Raider Athletics.
Ascend is federally insured by NCUA. Visit us at ascend.org. Put Lee Company on your team to keep you and your family warm this season. Their expert technicians can perform a 22-point inspection and tune-up to ensure your HVAC system is good no matter how cold it gets. Their expert technicians can perform a 22-point inspection and tune-up to ensure your HVAC system is good to go no matter how cold it gets. And while you're at it, ask them how to get endless hot water by installing an energy-efficient tankless water heater. Schedule your appointment today at leecompany.com or give them a call at 615-867-1000. Lee Company, all you need.
The MTSU Alumni Association is proud of its more than 130,000 living alumni who are leading, teaching, entertaining, researching, flying, farming, nursing, and more worldwide. Every Blue Raider accomplishment adds value to your degree. Are you connected to the MTSU National Alumni Association? Visit mtalumni.com to share what you're doing. Update your information and see how you can be involved and informed. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Hi, we're RJ Young. We offer technology solutions that power your business, school, hospital, church, law firm, and more. RJ Young will empower your office to be the modern office. That means an office that integrates technology as a business advantage, all to help you work smarter. From managed IT services, office equipment and technology, business process outsourcing, and digital communications, we're proud to be your one-stop for technology solutions that power your business. Come visit us at rjyoung.com.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in supporting and treating Middle Tennessee State University athletes, providing expert treatment of injuries to bones, joints, or muscles. TOA's team of orthopedic specialists can get you back in the game. Same-day appointments and walk-ins are welcome. Injured? Visit one of our many ortho urgent cares, or to make an appointment, call 1-855-NEED-TOA or visit www.toa.com. TOA, the official team doctor for Blue Raider Athletics.
Welcome back into Rick Stockstill Live tonight as we come to you from the Boulevard in Murfreesboro, right across from the MTSU campus, and a great crowd here tonight. And Coach, we talked about you're going through the off season and the setup of your staff and all, but it comes to putting your roster together. And in the new world of college football that we live in, it is a different animal, because for the past 3 or 4 years now, you've had the early signing period, and you guys have had a signing day while you were on a bowl trip. and then you add the transfer portal into that. It is different, and it seems to be never ending.
Yeah, it's that toothpaste is out of the tube, so to speak. And it's here to stay, and it's so hard for college coaches in any sport, now to manage your roster, because you used to could tell that, hey, he's a junior, we need to find somebody for him and all that. Now, they pick up and leave whenever they want, and we've lost 23 to the portal the last couple years and the last 2 years, and it's tough to manage your roster. And but we've done a great job. I think our coaches have done a really good job of replacing the guys that left, and it's just frustrating that you spend 2 or 3 years developing a guy, and now he's in a place where he's going to be a starter for you, and going to be a 2 or 3 year starter, and then he ups and leaves, and it's at this level it's just hard to replace him, especially big guys, because we're not signing ready-made guys like the Alabamas of the world are. We got to sign the undersized guy and develop him and bring him along, and that's the frustrating part about it. But I'm not going to make any excuses, anything like that. It's what it is, and we've got to deal with it as college coaches and try to replace what we lose the best way we can. And but ultimately, I feel sorry for the high school kids, because they're the ones that are getting left in the cold, so to speak, a little bit. That colleges just simply aren't recruiting high schools like we used to. Yeah. Because you sign a transfer portal, at least you got him until he graduates. And high school kids, they can pick up and leave anytime you want.
You get ready to go into battle with Alabama this week with a new starting quarterback. He is new, but not so new, because we've known him, and Nick Vattiato seems, the level, the way he's carrying himself right now, the way he is operating. It is his time. It is the right time, and I think he's going to have a heck of a year.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm proud of Nick. Like I said earlier today, I respect the heck out of that kid. He came here or signed here, during the COVID, sight unseen, so the relationship that we have with him, the trust level that he has with us, that we have with him, and then to do what he did in 21, that not a lot of kids in this day and world, this day and time would do that, that you don't play for 7 games and, the coach comes to you in the middle of the game and, we got a guy hurt, do you want to, go in? And that's the conversation, I had with him on the sideline. And he didn't bat an eye, didn't blink, said, put me in, and so we rolled with him those last 5 games and told him, compete for the job next year. And if you get it, go with it. If you're not, we'll try to get your red shirt year back. And we were able to do that, this past year with him. So he's had a great camp, great spring, a great summer, all that stuff. And, I think he'll have a really, really nice year for us.
The receiving core around him is going to have a little bit of a different look. There's some new faces coming in that I think are really exciting.
Yeah, we lost a lot of production off last year's team. Jalen Lane, I think, caught 70 balls. Isaiah Gaddings caught 60. Yusuf Ali caught 50 or so. And, so we lost those 3 starters, and then we lost 3 other backups to the transfer portal. So there's not a lot of production out there. DJ Chisholm is back. I think he caught 23 balls last year. Metcalf, caught, probably in the low teens. But I really like our receiving group. I think we're going to be more dynamic than what we were last year. I think we're faster than what we were last year. We've got solid size, decent size, not, overly impressive size, but guys that can, battle. I think Javonte Sherman has had a great summer or a great spring in camp. The 2 new guys that we brought in through the transfer portal, or 3 guys from the portal, have done really, really well. I'm really excited about those guys. You know, DJ's healthy, knock on wood. He's been healthy, so I like where we're at. You know, Jeremy Tate, Holden Willis, you know, those bigger guys inside have improved, and you know, I really like. I was coming out of spring. That was one of my 3 biggest concerns positionally on this team. That was one of my 3. We had to get better, and credit to those guys. They worked and got better this summer in August. So I like where we're at from a receiver standpoint.
All right, we're going to talk some defense with Coach in just the next segment. Want to remind you, tonight's show is brought to you in part by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Back with Coach Rick Stockstill after this on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield.
Winning requires the right game plan. Like the impressive towing and payload you'll only find in the 2023 Ford F-150 truck. No wonder Ford F-Series are America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight. The 2023 Ford F-150. Greatness starts here. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
Back if you don't mind.
It's never lost on Window World that your home is your largest physical investment. Window World's integrity will be noticed from your very first moment of contact. The clean, professional installation of premium windows, siding, doors, and more are designed to last while leaving your home looking amazing. Window World and their lifetime warranty will always be there when it really matters. They're America's most trusted remodeler and proud partner of Middle Tennessee Athletics, because the difference is integrity and always in the details.
Middle Tennessee Electric proudly supports the Blue Raiders, and we're proud to power the scoreboard lights at Floyd Stadium. When it comes to the electric service in the community, you can always trust MTE to do what's best for our members. We serve by providing affordable, reliable, safe electricity and outstanding member services. Here at MTE, we serve to make life better for our members and their communities. Visit MTE.com to learn more. And about that scoreboard, well, light it up, Blue Raiders.
You buy something because you found it at a low price, and soon you realize it's no bargain because you really needed something better. It happens all the time, especially with car insurance. But the good news is you can get the right coverage at the right price. Just talk to me, State Farm Agent Bud Morris. I'll help you get the right coverage at a price that's right for you. Call me at 893-1417 today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Bud Morris, providing insurance and financial services.
Hey Blue Raiders fans, the Mid Gaming Hall Kentucky Downs is a proud partner of your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. For good times and big wins, the Raiders and the Mid Gaming Hall deliver both. Located close by in Franklin, Kentucky, the Mid Gaming Hall is your spot for great food, cold drinks, and big jackpots. Ready for dinner? The all-new Iron Steakhouse awaits you. Come hungry and be prepared to be impressed. Check out themidgaming.com for all the details. Get your big hit today.
Welcome back to the Boulevard and Rick Stockstill Live. Tonight's show brought to you by Middle Tennessee State University. Everyone's a winner with MTSU's 2023 Freshman Guaranteed Scholarships. First-time freshmen wanting to attend MTSU must apply by December 1st to be considered for a guaranteed academic scholarship. New this year is the $14,000 True Blue Scholarship, available for students with an ACT score between 22 and 24 and a high school GPA of 3.5. You can earn more lucrative scholarships with a higher ACT score, but must apply by December 1st. Learn more at mtsu.edu. That is coming up, and Coach Rick Stockstill here. Coach, we talked some offense. Defensively, you mentioned Jordan Ferguson, it's going to be really odd to look out on the field and not see Jordan Ferguson out there. But you've got, again, a group of front four guys who've all played a ton of football.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a good nucleus coming back. We'll miss Ferg. We'll miss J.K. White. Those guys, so the other guy, Marley and Zaylen Wood, those guys have played a bunch, and Jordan Branch, is a good player along with Richard and Quindarius, out there, and then DeMont McKenzie. DeMonte's coming along. Not McKenzie, good golly. DeMonte Smith. DeMont McKenzie, heck, that was Clemson days. My mind's on Clemson, right? So, those guys are good players. We just don't have enough depth right there right now. We're struggling a little bit, at that position, but. Those guys have been an anchor there for a long time.
Trey Fluellen was talking about the job that Devin Curtis does as a middle linebacker of getting everybody in the right call, and it's good to have an experienced anchor like that at the middle linebacking spot.
Yeah, Devin's a good player, obviously, and he had surgery last year and missed part of the year, but glad to have him back. He's a warrior. He just plays so hard. He competes every snap. He's really, really smart. Can get guys lined up if they get misaligned, make a mistake, and he's just the epitome of a guy that plays with such great passion and plays so hard and lays it on the line every snap. And I have a lot of respect for Devin and how he plays.
Yep, and in the secondary, you lose a couple of guys, but everybody steps up. You have Trey Fluellen and Teldrick Ross, who are both on the Conference USA preseason watch list. And then Jacoby Thomas, who really came on at the end of the year, got the big interception at FIU. And then Deontay Stanley moving into, at least on the depth chart, into a starting spot at the other corner.
Yeah, we've got it's kind of a wait-and-see deal there on the back end. We got some guys that have played, like you said, in Trey and in Teldrick, Jacoby, towards the end of last year. So we got a couple guys that have played a bunch of snaps, and then other guys that, are going to get their feet wet for the first time. So got a couple transfer guys in that hopefully they'll be able to contribute and help us. But that's, we got a ways to go there to shore up the back end. But the talent is there. They just, they got to do it, when the lights come on.
On special teams, you return both your kickers, but in the punt game, Kyle Ulbrich was such a weapon a year ago. How do you replace him from graduation?
We haven't. And, it's, right now we're still battling. If, we played today, nobody's solidified that position. Miles Tillman and Trey Turk. Trey's a transfer from Mercer. He played at Oakland. Had a really nice career. I wouldn't call it a career, but the years that he was at Mercer did a really, really nice job. And, but those two guys are battling right now. And, what Kyle did last year was special. And, not only did he have such, a really, really good average, but he could punt it, and gave us an opportunity to roll to the right, to, punt down the chute, down the middle, can walk it to the left. He was a great directional kicker, but he also got the ball off. It wasn't a lot of sitting back there and let me, walk through 2 or 3 or 4 steps and see how long it takes to get my picture taken. So he got the ball off in a hurry, and so we gotta improve, there in that area right now. So, but one of those two guys, somebody will roll out there on Saturday, and whoever we roll out there, I think will do a good job.
Yep, kickoff 6:30 Central Time on Saturday from Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The Crimson Tide come into the game ranked either third or fourth in whichever poll you happen to take a look at. And speaking of the Crimson Tide, Alabama legend Eli Gold will be my guest when we return to Rick Stockstill Live after this on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Roscoe Brown is proud to be a longtime partner of MTSU Athletics and your locally owned HVAC and plumbing company. Roscoe Brown will be celebrating 83 years in business and has been the trusted name in heating, cooling, and plumbing for Middle Tennessee homeowners and businesses. Call 1-888-MY-ROSCOE to schedule your HVAC or plumbing service today. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Roscoe Brown. People you know, a name you trust. Go Blue Raiders.
Roscoe Brown. RoscoeBrown.com.
For close to a century, doctors and care teams at Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford have been dedicated to delivering compassionate,
just to play that
personalized
cold
care to
out of the
Rutherford
break,
County
right?
and surrounding communities. We are leading the way with new services and healthcare options, and we continue to make significant investments in Rutherford County. In 2023, we're opening Tennessee's first neighborhood hospital at Westline, and expansions at our Rutherford Hospital campus are underway. Find all the care you need at ascension.org/St. Thomas Rutherford.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around. After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I drink and drive all the time.
If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
At Kroger, you can find the highest quality products at a great price in every aisle, every day with Kroger brand. So you can stock up on your household favorites that are tried, tested, and loved by you. Because when you get the products you love at great prices, it feels like winning. Shop now, in-store, or online. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Since its inception in 2004, the Tennessee Lottery has proudly provided funding for education programs throughout the state. Scholarships and grants, including the Hope Scholarship, Tennessee Promise, as well as technical school grants and more, have received over $7 billion in funding, and that's led to a great deal of change. The Tennessee Lottery, game-changing, life-changing fun.
Welcome back into our inaugural edition of Rick Stockstill Live tonight, coming to you from the Boulevard in Murfreesboro. And as always on our show, we are always happy to talk to the play-by-play announcer of our opponent for the upcoming week. And this week, of course, it is the University of Alabama. And glad to have Eli Gold on with us. And Eli has been with Bama for a long, long time. And it is, number one, we're recording this prior to today's show, so some of the information may get updated as we move along. But, Eli, the one thing is I am so happy to see you on the other end of this Zoom call and know that you're going to be in the booth at Bryant-Denny Stadium on Saturday.
Well, thank you, Chip. We're looking forward to seeing you. Your booth is right next door to ours, so we're looking forward to that. It's been a tough stretch, as your listeners probably know or may not know. I was out for a year and change with cancer, and I'm now getting myself back. So I'm looking forward to that medicine come Saturday when the Tide and the Blue Raiders get together.
That will be maybe the best elixir that you've had during this whole stretch.
Yeah, getting back to what we do, yes, I do think Alabama's going to win, but notwithstanding that just getting back to doing what I do for a living is going to be a big shot in the arm, a nice big dose of medicine.
I tell you, I was thinking about you the other day. I was driving between here and Nashville or somewhere, and it was a weekend when the NASCAR series was off. But I had turned my Sirius XM radio over to the NASCAR channel and was listening to you and Barney Hall call the 1984 Holly Farms 400. And number one,
at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, to hear you and to hear Barney, and then the names that you guys were throwing out, like Tim Richmond and all the other guys. That was a lot of fun.
You know, I do. I enjoy that. I'll listen on occasion, not regularly, but I will listen on occasion. And you're right. I heard a race. Oh my gosh! I guess it couldn't have been a year ago. I was sick. Probably 3 years ago. It was a race from Texas World Speedway, just outside of College Station, Texas. And Cecil Gordon had spun off the track and I'm doing this like you. I'm saying, Cecil Gordon, boy, I hadn't heard that name in a while, and this and that and the other. That's one of the best parts of Sirius XM for those of us who are NASCAR fans, going back to listen to these old races. And, you know, I worked with Barney in the booth forever, and he was the best in the business, no question about it.
I tell you guys were part of my inspiration wanting to get into this. Okay. And I never understood for a long time when you all would take it around the track and go from the booth to turn 1 to turn 2 to 3 to 4, how you all knew to pick up. Was it voice inflection, or was a producer in your ears? How did that work?
No producer in our ear. It was voice inflection. And what we used to do was what we called a drop point, which was a point where the guy who was talking was going to drop it, and the next guy could safely just jump right in. We would look with our binoculars before we'd go on the air, and we'd say, all right, you see that, I'd talk to the guy who was in turn 1, Dave Moody, let's say, and I said, you see that motor home there, that green motor home? That'll be the drop point. And then he'll talk to Mike Bagley, and he'd say, all right, you see that guy jumping up and down on top of that, RV, that'll be the drop. And we would physically set a plate, and we didn't hit it exactly, obviously. The cars were going that fast, but yes, we had a drop point, and when I finished a sentence, the next guy in line just safely knew that I wasn't going to start another sentence, and he would just jump right in. And our microphones were hot all the time, so all of us on pit road, those in the turns, the two of us in the booth, all of our mics were hot. We had a push to talk switch, and if Dave Moody was talking and the guy in turn 4 had something that he felt was more important than what Dave was saying, then he would just jump in, and it was incumbent upon Dave Moody to hush up, and that guy in turn 4 would just keep on going. So that's how it worked. We had a producer to get us in and out of commercial breaks and so on, but nothing as far as editorial content is concerned. That was just us working off voice inflection.
Well, I'll tell you, for us old radio heads, Motor Racing Network, especially in the 70s and 80s up through the 90s, was as good as it got as far as sports broadcasting. We're obviously, we've got a football game to talk about coming up on Saturday, and with in the non-conference season, here's Middle coming in, and Alabama's got what will be a future SEC opponent coming in with Texas the following week. How do you feel that the Tide is when they focus on what's going on through their non-conference season? Because Coach Saban is as good as there is about living in the now.
Yep, exactly. He's going to have them ready to play you guys on Saturday. It's not going to be a case of looking past the Blue Raiders to look at the Longhorns coming in next Saturday. he'll have the guys ready this weekend for this weekend's game, period. Uh, so, that's, the thing people always talk when you get recruited by a major Division I school, because people are saying, well, Alabama's lost all of this, and they've restocked the NFL over the last decade or so. But the fact is, when you are recruited by a Nick Saban, by a whomever you pick the team, when you're recruited by a Nick Saban to play Division I ball at Alabama, you're good. Okay, you're good. Now, how good and are you going to be able to replace all these guys who are now, first round picks in the National Football League? Well, that, remains to be seen. But it's going to be a good team, a good season, and as you mentioned, we are taping this interview. So as this week goes along, getting ready for Saturday, I'm sure our last couple of questions will be answered as to who's going to get the call in the starting role and who will not.
The quarterback competition that they've had this fall, a lot of times people automatically say quarterback controversy. Well, that's not the case. It's always, typically, when you talk to the coaches, it is a quarterback competition, and most of the time, that's healthy for a football team.
It really is. It really is. And everybody gets a lot of repetitions. You got those long practices, and, everybody gets their number of reps. In this case, you've got, Milroe, who's been there, Jalen Milroe, who has played last year. He played. Others have not played. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out come this weekend. And, just because a guy starts game 1 doesn't mean he's going to start game 2. The competition doesn't end. So, now look at Alabama. We've changed quarterbacks over the years a number of times. So it's going to be a good team. It's going to be a good game Saturday. I'm looking forward to seeing, how Alabama has meshed through the summer camp here, through this fall camp, and is getting ready for the season opener.
So it will be coming up on Saturday night at Bryant-Denny Stadium. And what do you feel is going to be the strength of this Alabama team? You can never discount the defense, because
the defense,
that's what's in his heart.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very good defense. The defensive line will be good. The defensive, the linebackers are going to be good. Everybody's going to do well. So I don't, if I'm having to get that, and special teams, our punting unit, our field goal kicker are exceptional. So there'll be all sorts of opportunities to flip the field, if you will. So I'm expecting it'll be a very, those will be the strengths, the defense and the special teams. Not that the offense is going to be chopped liver. It's not. It's going to be very good. Great running backs, good wide receivers, outstanding quarterbacks. But you asked a particular question. I think the defense should shine.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Eli, I appreciate so much the time today to do this. And as excited as I am about getting our season underway and playing at Alabama at Bryant-Denny and Tuscaloosa, I'm just as tickled to be able to walk in the booth on Saturday and say hello to you, because it's going to be great to see you.
Likewise, Chip. I appreciate it. You've always been a good friend over the years, and it's nice to be back at it for another season.
There he is, Eli Gold, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. We'll take a timeout. More on Rick Stockstill Live here on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield.
The MTSU Alumni Association is proud of its more than 130,000 living alumni who are leading, teaching, entertaining, researching, flying, farming, nursing, and more worldwide. Every Blue Raider accomplishment adds value to your degree. Are you connected to the MTSU National Alumni Association? Visit mtalumni.com to share what you're doing. Update your information and see how you can be involved and informed. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in supporting and treating Middle Tennessee State University athletes, providing expert treatment of injuries to bones, joints, or muscles. TOA's team of orthopedic specialists can get you back in the game. Same-day appointments and walk-ins are welcome. Injured? Visit one of our many ortho urgent cares, or to make an appointment, call 1-855-NEED-TOA or visit www.toa.com. TOA, the official team doctor for Blue Raider Athletics.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The way we do work has changed. Where we work, how we work, and the day-to-day challenges we face as businesses have evolved. As organizations continue to adapt, RJ Young is here to help. We're your one-stop for technology solutions that power your business. Whether it's office technology and equipment, managed IT services, business process outsourcing, or digital communications, we can help make your workflows easier, faster, and more efficient so your team can focus on the core of your business. To learn more about what RJ Young can do for you, visit themodernoffice.com.
Put Lee Company on your team to keep you and your family warm this season. Their expert technicians can perform a 22-point inspection and tune-up to ensure your HVAC system is good no matter how cold it gets. Their expert technicians can perform a 22-point inspection and tune-up to ensure your HVAC system is good to go no matter how cold it gets. And while you're at it, ask them how to get endless hot water by installing an energy-efficient tankless water heater. Schedule your appointment today at leecompany.com or give them a call at 615-867-1000. Lee Company, all you need.
You buy something because you found it at a low price, and soon you realize it's no bargain because you really needed something better. It happens all the time, especially with car insurance. But the good news is you can get the right coverage at the right price. Just talk to me, State Farm Agent Bud Morris. I'll help you get the right coverage at a price that's right for you. Call me at 893-1417 today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Bud Morris, providing insurance and financial services.
Welcome back into Rick Stockstill Live tonight. The Blue Raiders open up in Alabama this week, but don't forget about the home opener coming up on Saturday, September 16th, as Middle takes on Murray State. You can get your tickets at goblueraiders.com/tickets. And happy to bring into the conversation here the media darling of Nashville, Big Joe Dubin. He's going to be part of our crew this year. Give him a nice welcome.
Louder the better.
That's right. That's right. So, JoJo, you have been to practice several times already, including over the weekend. Give me your thoughts on what you see with this team coming together.
Well, I like Coach was talking earlier. The attitude, the hustle. During fall camp, it's easy to. It's 1,000 degrees. You have the excuse not to do anything. But I always like to watch the big boys up front and to watch the competition between them. Healthy competition, and it looked good. And of course, you kind of go up to the quarterbacks and see that, but. What I noticed, playing football as always, is the hustle from drill to drill. And when you got players sprinting to beat other players drill to drill, that's something that you love that. You love to see that competition to get in front of the drill. So I think it's great. And I'm as excited as Coach is to get this going on Saturday down in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I mean, you've worn out the pavement between Donaldson and Murfreesboro, which happy to see that. And we're gonna make our first road trip together this weekend. You've done so much in television and radio in the Nashville market, but when we were talking about you coming aboard and being part of our crew, this is the one thing you haven't done, and that is being part of the actual game broadcast, and you're excited about it. I know.
We all call games from our couch.
That's correct.
Did we not? We all call the games from the couch. So when you called me that one day and said, "Hey, you interested?" I was like, all right, he's playing a trick on me. And then a few days later, then the job's there. And I think it's a great opportunity because I followed, I've been with Coach Stock. He got here, December of 05, in his first season in 06. So I've covered him the entire time. It's not like I'm just dropping in new to see this. And so it's funny. I always tell people, what's it like being at MTSU in practice and other, go to Titans, Vandy, whatever. And I said, you come down here, Coach gives us great access to us. And one time we were at practice, and I said, Coach, I said, where can we and can we not go? He said, I don't care, just don't get hit. And I was like, yes, that's what you love to hear from a coach. So it's been so much fun covering him and this team since 2006.
Coach, I wanted to ask you, we got some audience questions. If you had any question cards you want to turn in, go ahead and do that. Your colleague down at LSU, you talk about access. He has kind of put a thought out there as far as injuries are concerned, kind of going to an NFL model, especially with all of the sports betting that's going on now and all the apps that are out there, to put out an NFL-type injury report during the week to kind of get the info out there to where people aren't trying to get it in a surreptitious way. What do you think?
Initially, I don't like it just because I think you're invading on the privacy of the individual kid. These aren't professional athletes. Some of them are making $1 million a year, but they're not professional athletes where, that they don't have to follow HIPAA laws and all that, that parent may not want to know that their son is out because he's got a bad shoulder or a bad knee or whatever. I just think there's still a fine line that in college that, we got to protect these young people. And, I understand that all the gambling, all the betting and all that, but it's still illegal, for college athletes to gamble. And I'd rather stay away from it.
Understand.
All right, here's another one. Alabama's not named a starting quarterback or at least a depth chart. How do you prepare for multiple quarterbacks Alabama will throw at you?
Joe, I think, whoever they are, who they are. They're going to run their offensive system. They're not going to have an offensive system based on this quarterback and an entirely different offense based on this quarterback. So if you look at over the years when they've changed coordinators on both sides of the ball, the schematic part of it has always been pretty similar, what Coach Saban wants to do and what he believes in. So, they're going to do what they've always done. They've got great players, great athletes. They're going to spread the field. They're going to throw it. But I think more so this year that you're going to see Alabama try to impose their will on people by running the ball more than, maybe what they've done in the last couple of years.
Had another question from the audience. Don was talking about team captains. The team has elected the permanent captains for the season. He talk about that a little bit, that process, and he mentioned that Nick Vattiato, a guy who was redshirted a year ago, was one of the guys who got elected.
Yeah, it's when I first got here, we voted at the end of the year, and it could only be a senior that could be a captain, and then I changed that, I don't know, maybe 16, 15, 14, something like that, because we had good leaders that weren't seniors, and I felt like, we needed that. Our team needed that, and so that's when I changed it. And guys have done a great job. These guys that were elected captains by their teammates, are good players, and they're good leaders. They're good people. They represent what this program, what we want it to represent. And, Nick, he's been here 3 years. This is his third year. And, you don't have to be a returning starter. You don't have to be a returning this or that to be elected a captain. And J.K. Wyatt was a captain last year, and he didn't start. He played, but he didn't start the year before. So it's not based on a captain is not based on, your title. Anybody can be a leader. Jeff Murphy was voted a captain and didn't even play that year. He was set out the whole year. He was coming off a torn ACL and didn't even play. Logan Kilgore was a captain.
Yep, so there you go. There's a look at your Blue Raider captains. for this year. We'll take a final timeout, get the keys from Coach as we wrap it up in our final segment. Coming up next here on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield.
For close to a century, doctors and care teams at Ascension